Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Port St. Lucie on May Day. Everybody here and the hundreds of thousands of you out there on YouTube. Please stand and join us as we sing our opening song, One Light. As you settle back in, let us join our hearts and minds together as we pray for inner peace. Creator of all that is, I open my heart and mind this morning to the presence of God that is within me and in everyone and everything, that one power and one presence. I let God's peace fill my being. In this presence, I am peaceful, poised, confident, and strong. I relax in God's loving care and release all my cares, knowing that God is upholding me and sustaining me in all that I do. God's presence calms me, quiets the storms around me, and leads me to a place of perfect peace. As I center myself in that peaceful presence this morning, I let go of every concern and relax in the safety of God's love and in the love of those around me. I find Unity of Port St. Lucie a sanctuary of love and peace, and I am open and receptive to receive all it has to soothe my mind and soul this day. And so it is. Amen. Please join us in our statement of faith. There is only one power and one presence in my life and in the universe, God the good, omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence. And our core values: Unity of Port St. Lucie encourages diversity and embraces harmonious and creative pursuit of truth in a safe environment to achieve balance and wholeness in the world. Still don't quite have that one memorized. I'll get it. And today is the first Sunday, so May babies, and we got a lot of them. Stand up so we can sing happy birthday to you. Come on. Now please stand and join us in our congregational song, Open My Eyes. Marvia Reed is going to read the daily word today. Oh, no, she's not. Shanetta is going to read the daily word today. I know why, because Shanetta has glasses.
Same hue, but different body structure. Good morning. The word for today is joy. I carry joy in my heart. My many happy experiences and memories may lead me to feel joyful, but I know they are not the source of my joy. One of my divine gifts, joy is part of my spiritual identity, as close to me as my breath. Joy wells up and spills over within me when I bring my awareness to my spiritual nature and my oneness with all good and all life. It is an attitude I hold in mind and I feel in my heart. The happiness I feel in life depends on my allowing my inner wellspring of joy to come forth. I nurture my joy by maintaining a regular prayer practice that enhances my awareness of God and by making time for the things that make me happiest. I go into the world grateful for the joy that resides within me, my gift to share generously. Isaiah 55:12 says, "For you shall go out in joy and be led back in peace." Let us prepare now for our meditation by singing Surely the Presence. Before that, let us repeat the affirmation for today together. I Now we will prepare for our meditation by singing Surely the Presence.
And so it is, friends, the presence of the Lord is in this place, particularly this morning with all of us here, filling this space with joy, filling the space with love. We experience the energy of God moving through us and as us, as we greet one another, as we prepare right now to spend a few moments in the silence together, knowing we consider this an opportunity to become still and remind ourselves, each one of us, the truth of our being, that we are one with God. Always. As we prepare now to sit in the silence, we simply acknowledge that. we take an extra moment or two to experience that together. And we begin by relaxing. We let go of the need to hold on to anything. We relax our shoulders, our heads, our jaws, the lines on our forehead, our eyes become soft, our lips relaxed and soft. We focus on our breath. We become aware of the movement of air as we inhale. We become aware of the coolness of it as we take it slowly, intentionally into our bodies. Slowly. And then we become aware of the movement of air as we exhale. Gently sending that air back out into the universe. It has mingled with us. And now it goes on and mingles with another, and then another, and so on, drawing us all together by breathing. And we drop our attention into our heart space, that place inside our holy altar, that place where we intentionally connect with our source we call God. We focus there, that beautiful place inside. We do that together, friends, for a few moments in the silence. And then very slowly and very gently, lovingly, we begin to return our attention to the outer. Grateful for this opportunity to turn within as a community, turn within and intentionally connect with the Christ inside of us. And then slowly we open up our eyes and join together singing about the bond that keeps us all together, the bond of love. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good to see all of you. Really good to see all of you. I missed you last week, though. I really appreciated having the day off. The title of my talk today is The Great Change. I reflected when I was preparing to talk to you about this subject today on the fact that I have, over the past 3 years, facilitated 10 book studies online. This book is number 10, the book I'm going to refer to in a moment, number 10. I started, interestingly enough, the year before the pandemic. I was serving at Unity of Daytona Beach, and we decided to do a community-wide book study, that is, break into small groups within the community and people meeting in each other's homes and studying the same book at the same time. And it occurred to me that we had quite a few members who no longer wanted to drive at night. And I thought, wouldn't it be maybe interesting to offer a book study virtually so that we could do it in the evening and those who don't want to drive tonight would have that option. And it was a huge success. I had a lot of people sign up, and that was right before the pandemic began. So when the pandemic began, I was already well-versed in using Zoom, as were the people who joined me, and we've been doing it ever since. So I'm on my 10th book. Choosing the books that we're going to study falls mainly on me. Over the years, the past 3 years, I have encouraged members of the study group to suggest titles, and every once in a while, somebody will come up with a suggestion, but by and large, they look to me to come up with the next book idea. And so choosing the book is, to me, an awesome responsibility. I take it very seriously. I don't choose those books lightly. I only choose books that support and illumine my belief system, right? I only choose books that support and illumine my belief system. I choose books that expand on my core beliefs. I choose books that talk about my core beliefs maybe in a way that I hadn't heard before, in ways that I hadn't considered for the most part. It's amazing that there continue to be different ways to say the same thing, right? If it weren't true, I wouldn't be standing here. Yeah, take that. It'll take a moment for that to sink in. I would be without a job. There are multitudinous ways to say the same thing. So when I say that I choose books that illumine my core beliefs, I want to be crystal clear that you understand what they are. That there's only one power. I call it God. Other people call it something else. Then it doesn't matter. There's only one power. Every single solitary human being has the same Christ potential within them. Every single human being on the planet. The same Christ potential that Jesus owned during most of his life. And countless others, not just Jesus. Jesus happens to be the one I've studied my whole life. There are others studied by other individuals. No difference. Someone, sometime, has demonstrated what living from the Christ within looks like. And that potential to live from the Christ within exists in everyone. The third core belief I have is that our experience of life on this planet depends on our thoughts. Our experience of life on this planet depends on our thoughts. No exceptions. The fourth core belief I have is that prayer is an affirmative declaration. By that I mean that everything we could possibly need or want or desire is available to us once we get straight with that truth and affirm it. And then finally, my core belief is that it is incumbent on us, it's actually our purpose in life to live these other four principles. Those are my core beliefs. So when I look for a book to study with other people, the book must be aligned with those beliefs. Otherwise, I'm not going to spend my time on it, and I'm certainly not going to invite others to spend their time. So I came across such a book for the current book study that I'm doing, written by Gary Zukav. How many of you are familiar with that name? Yes, of course. Gary wrote Dancing with the Wu-Li Masters. That was his first book. The second book, and the one that became an international bestseller for a very, very, very long time, is Seed of the Soul. Right? Seed of the Soul. Over 30 years ago, I believe. I would have to look that up, but I think it's over 30 years ago. And then he wrote another very powerful book, and I did a book study at Unity of Vero Beach at the time on that book called Spiritual Partnership. Very interesting book about what a relationship can look like from a spiritual point of view. Powerful book. And then he wrote 8 more. And finally this one called Universal Human, which was just published in June of 2021. I reviewed 4 different books before I landed on this one for my current book study, and we're almost done. We have 2 weeks left. I reviewed 4 books altogether. Now, how do I do that? I generally read the foreword or the introduction or the prelude, whatever that's called, in the beginning of the book. If it has a jacket, I generally read the jacket. I look at the table of contents to see what subjects I can expect to find within the book, if I can tell by that. And then I generally scan it. You know, I'll open it up and glance at a page here and a page there. And I know, I can know after that whether it's one that I want to bring to book study. And I'll tell you what jumped out at me from Gary's book, this current book, Universal Human. This is from the prelude. Gary wrote, "A great change is upon us. Our social structures are disintegrating. War is ceaseless. Nuclear destruction looms over us. Global climate catastrophe comes closer. Individuals with very little vision hold an old kind of power. These events are not the great change. Until you understand the great change, you will not understand these events. An obsolete world is disintegrating. Pieces of it are tumbling down, and a new world with a new kind of power is being born. We are on the ground floor of this new world. In fact, we are the ground floor. Human history and consciousness are changing quickly and dramatically. A new human species looks to the sky and sees beyond it. Human evolution now requires spiritual development. The dying world dismisses this, but the dying world is dying. Human evolution is becoming conscious. Humans are awakening. This is the great change. Well, he had me there. He had me there. I couldn't wait to dive in and see what else he had to say. Gary Zukav has been studying human consciousness for over 30 years. That's his singular passion. Over 30 years. He observes within this book, and in interviews that he's conducting now, that human evolution is becoming conscious of itself because we're moving, humans, we are moving beyond being five sensory individuals. We are moving beyond the five sensory level. Five sensory individuals live their lives in pursuit of power and control. Multisensory individuals, which is the next evolution of human beings, according to Gary, multisensory individuals live their lives in pursuit of authentic power. Power that emanates from within, not without. So I suppose you could say quite simply, we're turning from without to within and then back out again. There's principle number 5. You turn within, but then turn back without again. Take the within and apply it without. Maybe it feels obvious to you, but five sensory individuals are ruled by what they can see, what they can hear, what they can taste, what they can smell, what they can touch. Multisensory individuals use their five senses, no doubt, but depend on a sense of inner knowing to guide them through life, to make decisions. They turn within. Five sensory individuals built our social structures, friends. Five sensory individuals built our social structures. They did so based on their need to control the environment and everything in it. Initially, it was a matter of survival, and then it became a habit. 5 sensory human beings built those social structures, not just here in this country. I'm talking about the world. I don't care where you go in the world. The current social structures of the world were built by and large by 5 sensory individuals. Social structures, that includes our educational system. That includes our governments. That includes our legal system. That includes our military infrastructure. That includes our economic system. All of them have been built to preserve and pursue power. All of them. All over the world. And those social structures that have been built over the past couple of thousand years have served us until now. And no, now they don't. None of them. All the while those systems were serving us, human beings continued to evolve, you see. All the while those systems served us, and they did serve us well initially, all that while human beings continued to evolve. Began to evolve from merely 5 sensory individuals to multi-sensory individuals. Multi-sensory individuals are not content with external power, but are driven to experience authentic power. Gary writes in this book that there's a realization shaking the ground beneath our feet all over the world. The very thing that enabled us to survive and thrive and evolve until now works against us. Our good medicine has become poison. The unthinkable stands before us. The pursuit of external power now prevents our evolution and threatens our very survival. So what is authentic power? Love, awareness, compassion, and wisdom. That's what authentic power is, all wrapped up in a beautiful package. Friends, you could think about it this way. We are the makers of new maps. You want to know how to navigate the new world that is opening up, blossoming before our very eyes? Well, we're creating new maps to figure it out together. Millions and millions of people around the planet are celebrating these changes, welcoming these changes. In all of these changes, they're waking up all around the planet. Millions of people around the planet are longing for harmony, longing for co-creation. That is beyond cooperation, co-creation. So let's work together to create a world of love, reverence for life, a world that is exemplified by authentic power. The groundswell began, friends, in the early 1900s. Think about it. The groundswell for this new universal human, this new world began then as tens of thousands and then hundreds of thousands and then millions of people began to experiment with yoga. Remember transcendental meditation that made its way to this country and swept the entire country almost overnight? People were showing up in droves to meet at their local high school gymnasium or wherever, their churches, to learn from someone who knew how to do it, how to practice transcendental meditation. Remember the first yogis that landed on this country's shores and began to speak all around the country about finding peace within? There was a huge outpouring of interest in Eastern spiritual practices, religions from other cultures, huge, huge interest. People began to look at chanting, practice it, come together, drumming, practice it, come together, alternative healing modalities. People began to use breathing practices to enhance their sense of peace and calm, to enable them to turn within. In fact, people were going to extraordinary lengths everywhere in this country to experience authentic power, to get out of their heads and into their hearts. No surprise then, friends, when you pick up a book by someone who's been watching this for over 30 years, written by Gary Zukav, who says, you know what? It's starting to pay off. It's starting to pay off. Multi-sensory individuals, people who have intentionally decided to look at the power within them and then to exercise that power wherever they are, to bring love, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and wisdom into their environment. The number of people doing that is higher than it's ever been, ever. And the scales are tipping, friends, in the right direction. Mr. Zukav says, this new human consciousness, this evolutionary human consciousness is epic, unprecedented. It's replacing a world that's built on five-sensory perception and external power with a world built on multi-sensory perception and authentic power. It's reshaping terrain known to our ancestors for hundreds of thousands of years and their ancestors for millions of years, all being replaced. I've had a sense for about 2 decades that this is an exciting time to be alive. Have you? Yeah, no wonder. No wonder. Because we are in the midst of it. And pat yourselves on the back for being responsible for it. Because you are, individually, collectively, communities like this one are responsible for it. It's happening now. Capital N-O-W, now, friends. This is a big moment. Big moment. It's a big day. And we are the ground floor. Five-sensory humans can't construct the new social structures. Why? Well, because social structures built by five-sensory individuals don't work any longer. And five-sensory individuals don't have a sense of moving beyond their five senses. Multi-sensory humans will bring new social structures into existence. In his book, Gary talks about finding a house. When he decided to move to the San Francisco Bay Area, he went house shopping. And he wanted to live outside the city, and he wanted to live on the ocean. So he found one of those grand Victorian houses that those of you who've been to San Francisco all know what I'm talking about and have fallen in love with. The quintessential Victorian houses in San Francisco with the gingerbread trim and the turret and the grand front porch. So he found one that had been condemned. Now that usually says bargain, 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 assuming you could afford to fix it up, of course. And he felt that way. Interestingly enough, it was cordoned off from one side of the front porch around to the back and the other side of the front porch around to the back with yellow tape. You could not go beyond the yellow tape that lined the sidewalk and prevented you from getting to the backyard. And it had a big sign on it, condemned, but it was also for sale. He was curious. And so he went to the nearby windy road that went down to the beach to get a different point of view. And he walked down the windy road and he stood back and he looked up and he gasped. The fact of the matter is, that grand old lady was sitting precariously on a ledge where the entire underbelly of the ledge had been washed away. She was about to totter over and fall. And the story made it to 60 Minutes, lest you think he made this up. Because I remember seeing it thinking to myself, oh my God. Well, Gary says that's kind of what it's like looking at our current social structures. They are teetering on the edge, friends. They should be condemned with yellow tape. I was socializing with some other former educators, and I was talking about this very thing. And we had a great deal of fun the other day talking about this subject because it's been clear to us for some time that the educational system is really messed up. And people have poured millions and millions and millions of dollars into it, and it's still messed up. It cannot be fixed. It is broken. It is dying. It doesn't work any longer. And I could say the same thing about the government. And I could say the same thing about our military infrastructure. And I could say the same thing about religious institutions, legal systems, healthcare. Sherry's coaching me. All of it. All of it, friends. They're broken. They don't work because they were created by people trying to obtain power and control. And that consciousness is no longer serving anybody. So, if we don't see this, we're probably hanging out as a five-sensory individual. If we see this, we're hanging out as a multisensory individual. It's that simple, friends. And the number of multisensory individuals is greater than the number of five-sensory individuals. Five-sensory consciousness is a dying consciousness, friends. It's a dying consciousness. It will not prevail. What's it going to take? Finally, for those new structures to become obvious to us. How long? I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I don't. But I have some ideas. I have some ideas. I have some ideas, some of my own and some provoked by Mr. Zukov, to whom I am extraordinarily grateful. So not next week, because next week is Mother's Day, and I will not talk about this on Mother's Day. But the following week, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. So go ahead and spend some time reflecting on what I've said. Get over it if I pushed your buttons. Sometimes that's mine to do. Yeah. And come on back and share your questions. Share your own observations with me. I'd love to hear them. And let's talk about what it might look like, how long it might take, and what we can do to facilitate, to expedite, to expedite the process. Thank you. God bless all of you. Thanks. So, before I step away, this is an exciting day because once a year now, in this spiritual community, we celebrate the addition of prayer chaplains to our prayer chaplain community. Come on up, Marvia. Or we celebrate the renewal of someone's commitment to be a prayer chaplain. So to tell you all about it and lead us through the installation, I give you our prayer chaplain coordinator, Miss Marvia Reed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, as a congregation, I know we are grateful for the service of our prayer chaplains. For every year, we invite new people to join, and we go through the process of retraining. This year, Reverend Linda retrained us in the process of affirmative prayer. And so when you ask for prayer every Sunday, we are available to pray with you affirmatively. Or if you've signed up as a member for monthly prayers, we'll reach out to you and pray with you in your home. So I must say that today, this year, we have 5 prayer chaplains. I am one, and we have 4 more. So I'm going to invite them up so that we can do the installation. Linda Woodcox, Shanetta Griffith, please come up. Judy Walker, Monica Anderson, so we give thanks to God for the service that they have committed to do. They've committed themselves for 1 full year of service, and if they wish to renew next year, they are free to do so. And at this time, we'll ask the chairman of the board, Sherry, to hand out the certificates. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask the congregation to stand so that we can. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. You're not done yet. Yes. We have some wonderful gifts for the prayer chaplains. We have some wonderful gifts for the prayer chaplains. There are gifts. This is just another gift from the good Reverend Linda. So they'll be a blessing on our journey of serving in prayer. You want to bring the stuff for her? Bring it. Let's go get it. Pass it down.
One more.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Now.
Yes. So, thank you very much. And she doesn't know it, but we have a gift for Reverend Linda, because she has given freely of her time and her effort and we didn't have to pay for it. And so Monica is going to present her with the gift.
Reverend Linda, would you like to step up here, ma'am?
Not particularly. Oh, wow.
Reverend Linda, on behalf of the PCs, we are so honored to present you with this token of our love and appreciation for your service. You have given so much of yourself, and we appreciate it.
Thank you so much, honey. Thank you.
And also, on behalf of the prayer chaplains, we are making a donation to the church for your services.
Oh, thank
We
you.
appreciate you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart. I love you guys. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff and Linda, and thank you, Reverend Linda. If I could plug that book, it's I read it. I've only been to one of the book things online, but it's wonderful. So if you're a reader, I would recommend getting it because he tells you how to do things, like how to be loving when you're not feeling loving is my biggest takeaway. When I know I should be, but I'm not feeling it, he goes there. So now's the time when we take out our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. We hold them in our hands, bless them, as we say together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I love to give. Marvia Reed will be our prayer chaplain today. She'll be over in this area after service if you would like to share some affirmative prayer with her. Spiritual discussion might be this Tuesday. It is? Yay, okay. Your discussion leader is John Hayes, Tuesday at 7. Yoga with Lana, Mondays and Wednesdays. Monday is chair yoga, right? And Wednesday is yin yoga. Prayer circle is Thursday at 11. Caregiver support group for Thursday of each month at 2 o'clock, led by Bob West. And because people wanted to see the whole movie again, we're going to show it after service on June 5th, Raising Your Inner Light. Just bring a bag lunch, and we're just going to run it straight through. And because I'm Sherry, I know that it's 1 hour and 48 minutes long. Those of you who want Reiki, see me. We'll make it happen. I do Reiki right here at church. Monica.
Yeah, hi. Okay, next Friday, we're going to be doing a...
You should go up here so they can hear me.
Hello. Next Friday, we're going to be doing a video on who Dolores Cannon was and past life regression. So for those that you would love to know more about it, she was a past life regressionist that did hypnosis for 45 years, and she developed this certain technique and then wrote 17 books based on those techniques and all the information that she found from past life regressions. And it's been translated into 20 languages all around the world. And this is one of her books. It's called Between Death and Life. And not next Friday, but the following Friday on the 13th, we're going to be doing a book study. And myself and Amy Neff will be doing it, and everybody is welcome. And it'll be on Fridays from 10 to 11:30. And this Friday is a video approximately an hour long that tells you about Dolores Cannon. So I'll put a sign-up sheet in the back and hope everybody comes.
There it is. Sorry, the graphics department messed up. You should have received in the mail, if you're a member, a sheet to renew your membership. It's just for our bookkeeping purposes, so we know who officially wants to retain their membership in Unity of Port St. Lucie. You can put it in the offering plate, you can mail it to us, you can scan it and send it to my email, which is on that sheet. So however, just by the end of this month, please get it back to us. Okay, gentlemen. Creator of all that is, we bless these tithes and offerings to your use through Unity of Port St. Lucie. We bless each and every person, seeing them surrounded, of course, with your light and that'll get me in trouble with Mr. Paul because the back won't look right. Now, May's a happy month. We got a lot of stuff going on, and 3 fun things are coming up this week. So I just wanted to share with you that Miss Shanetta's turning 96 on Wednesday. And Dottie's not as old as Shanetta. She's turning 91 on next Sunday. And it just so happens in the midst of all that, Shepherd and Green are performing at Monero's Saturday night in Palm City. So I reserved a big table. Anybody's welcome. Come enjoy. Ah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Asked to be in the bar where the music is. And so we'll have some good music, some good food, just some fun. So come out. Oh, but I reserved the table, so if you text me or call, you know I answer the church phone. I think most of you know that. So if you have a question or you need to get a hold of somebody and you don't have my number, call the church number. Okay, so just let me know and I'll make sure there's enough seats and everything. All righty. Thanks to everyone who had a part before, during, after, during the week. And okay, I'm going to cry. It's okay. It's happy tears. And she won't like that I'm going to say this, but you guys got to know how blessed we are to have that woman, because so much of what she does for us is there's no financial compensation. It's out of loving service. You got to hear it every once in a while, how much we know and love you for that. She does not like it when I talk about this, but she needs to know that we do know. And now stand and join us in our final song, the Peace Song.